Hello, I'm Jackie and welcome to Yoga at Home with the Zen Mama Tribe. So today we are going to be doing some Zen bumps. So here's Victoria. Hi Victoria. Victoria is 35 weeks pregnant now. Yeah, yay! So we're going to be doing some yoga that's just right for Victoria, and actually this yoga practice is good for any of you who are kind of between 12 and 42 weeks pregnant. So it's a completely safe yoga practice. So I've been teaching this stuff for 10 years around my local area, and we decided to put a few things online for you so you can also enjoy this pregnancy yoga at home. So we're just going to do a lovely 15-minute taster class for you today. So just grab your mat, roll it out, just cut yourself off from the world for 15 minutes, turn off your phones, and just let's do a little stretch and a nice little practice for you that you can do right now. So yeah, find your space, roll your mat out, and we're just going to start sitting. So I'm not pregnant at the moment, so I'm quite happy with just sitting normally on the floor. But when you are pregnant, sometimes it feels quite nice to have your hips a little bit higher. So I'm going to introduce a block to Victoria. Victoria, meet a block. There you go. So Victoria's going to pop that just underneath her bottom, and all that does is it just makes her hips a little bit higher, which means that she's got some nice space going on for our lovely baby to hopefully get down into a nice position, kind of ready for birthing. We're not quite ready yet at 35 weeks, but kind of on the way with the head down. So you can see how it provides quite a lot of nice space for the baby to get into a good position for birthing with head down. And it's also really nice for Victoria's back potentially being on a block. It just gives Victoria a little bit more support onto her back rather than sitting down on the floor. So do get yourself a block. If you haven't got a block, don't worry, grab yourself a cushion, or if you're happy just sitting on the mat, then by all means do. So we're just going to start in this seated position. Our chest is lifted, we're rolling the shoulders back a little bit, and our shoulders are relaxed. We're going to start as we would do with every yoga class, which is just taking a moment just to check in and see how we're doing today. So just be aware of your sit bones, either on the block or on the mat or on the floor or the ground beneath you. And just be aware of just rooting down into those sit bones a little bit. Just being aware of the fact that you are just drawing a line under the day to take this breath and this break for 15 minutes, just to do a little yoga asana and take a few breaths, all benefiting your pregnant body and baby. And also your growing baby as well, who's going to take some benefit from these lovely endorphins you're going to be receiving just through this little mini practice. So just take a moment. If you want to just close your eyes, feel free. If you feel happy to close your eyes like I'm doing, I will close my eyes at any opportunity I'm giving, then please do feel free to close your eyes. And just rest down into your eyelids for a moment. And just be aware of your forehead smoothing. So just let go of any of the little lines on the forehead that might have built up over the day. Just soften them away, soften the little lines around the eyes. Jaw is soft. Little gap in between the teeth, tongue spreads out in the mouth. And shoulders are soft, arms are soft, hands are soft. Good, so it's quite nice to take a few deep breaths into our chest, but also into our belly as well. If you feel like it's nice to just connect with your baby, feel free to put your hands onto your belly. And maybe just be aware of your breath coming into your belly and into your hands. Sometimes our babies tend to wake up a little bit when we send our breath directly to them, directly to our bellies. So just breathing into your belly, into your hands, and just softening as you breathe out. Good. Just a couple more deep breaths, breathing into your belly, breathing into the space and your baby, and as you breathe out, just softening. Good. One more breath. Good. Next time we're going to breathe out. Our chin is just going to come down to our chest as we breathe out. Just let the neck hang there for a little bit. And we're just going to give our baby a little bit of a massage. So Just say hello, take a moment of connection, going round your belly in a nice circle. Always go in a clockwise direction when you massage your belly. That is the root of the intestine, so we don't want to give you any more indigestion. So just make sure that we're going round in a clockwise direction. And just take a moment for massaging of your own belly, but obviously give your baby a little massage as well. Good, well done. Just going to slide these hands down the legs. Take a little blink, look forwards, roll the shoulders back. Good, all right, so we're going to do an adapted sun salutation today, which is a really great foundation for just a very short but very lovely yoga practice. It's a really nice series. So we're going to be really careful as we come up to standing because I'm going to say we are pregnant. So we're going to take it really easy to make sure that we don't break our bodies at all in any transitions when we're coming up and down. Most injuries or stresses and aches and pains do occur when we're traveling either up and down in and out of cars or up and down off the floor and things like that. So be really careful with yourself at this time. So we're just going to bring the knees together a little bit, and then we're going to move our legs behind us and our heads are going to point in this direction as we come to an all fours position. All right, so the all fours. All right, we're going to come back to this place in a moment. For now, we're on our way to standing. So what we're going to do is tuck our toes under and do this nice and carefully. So we're just going to rock forward once. And then as we rock back, our hands are going to walk back towards our legs and we're going to push into those feet. We're going to push into the legs and come all the way up, chest lifted, shoulders relaxed. Good, all right. So that's a nice safe way of coming up and down off the floor, or indeed in your yoga practice, up and down off your mat. So we're just going to stand in Tadasana. Tadasana, mountain posture, is a little bit better for pregnancy rather than the feet together posture because the hips feel that they want to be a little bit wider. So just check your feet out and make sure they're nicely under the hip distance apart. And then let's just be a little bit aware of our back. So we're going to push into those feet a little bit so we can feel our bodies just lengthening. And then just put our hands on our back just to check we haven't got too much of a curvature of the spine here. As we're pregnant, often it just does pull our bump forwards and gives us this real pregnancy arch. We don't really want that. So we're just going to tuck the tailbone under just a little bit to make sure that back's a little bit flatter than normal, switching on the stabilizing muscles of the body. And then the chest is going to be lifted. We're going to roll the shoulders back and we're just standing for a breath or two. The top of the head is nicely just pulling very gently towards the ceiling or the sky. Shoulders are nicely rolled back into their sockets. Just taking a couple of breaths here. Good. As you breathe out, you're going to bring your hands together. And then as you breathe in, we're going to lift, but we're not going to back bend. We're just going to lift up towards the sky. We don't do kind of back bends in pregnancy yoga. Not very nice for us now because those muscles are working really hard. And then we're just going to wobble a little bit and we're going to come back down to the floor, nice and gently walking along the floor with our hands till we come to a nice, safe all fours position. So finding your all fours position, hands directly underneath the shoulders, knees directly underneath the hips. And then again, just checking your back to make sure that you haven't got this scoop or the arch going on, tucking that tailbone under a little bit, puffing up the back of the waist to make sure you've got a nice flat back. Check the shoulders as well to make sure they're not up towards the ears. Root them, push into your hands, but then pull the shoulder blades down your back at the same time. Top of the head is nicely in line and is just pointing away from you. Good. From here, we're going to do what I call shaking the maraca. So we're going to shake our maraca, which is our nice pelvis, our hips from side to side. So this is one of the best things that you can do for yourself for pelvic girdle pain. It's just moving all of the complicated structure around and inside the pelvis of all those ligaments and muscles and all the relaxing that can cause us to have some aches and pains during pregnancy. And it just wakes up the circulation around this whole area and it will help you feel a little less like you're 180 and a little bit more like your normal self. So just that nice sway of the hips from side to side. Good. We're going to come to a nice flat back now. We're going to make sure those shoulders are nicely plugged in. So just pulling those shoulders away from the ears a little bit. And then we're going to put our nose in front of our fingers. So we're going to take a deep breath in We're going to start to roll the cat. So we're going to arch the bottom, the pelvis down towards the heels, the top of the head down towards the floor, and then we're going to roll down. So the bottom comes towards the heels. Keep the belly nice and soft. And then as if we're kind of rolling a ball along the floor, we're going to roll that ball, but make sure the shoulders are still back and nicely plugged in where they should be. And then roll that ball all the way along, push into the hands. Good, and then tucking the pelvis under again, arching the back, keeping the belly soft, top of the head towards the floor, bottom towards the heels. Good. Keep the elbows in as you roll that ball along the floor. Make sure those shoulders are still pulling away and plugged in. Good, let's do one more, tucking under, pushing into the hands, bottom towards the heels. Good, and then rolling that ball along. Good, and then this time as we come back, we're going to bring the knees together. We're going to walk the hands back. We're going to come to a kneel. The chest is lifted, the shoulders are relaxed. Good. So we're going to lift the pelvic floor a little bit just to help us, because we're going to come to a high kneel and we're going to have our hands up above the head. Again, make sure those shoulders are nicely plugged in. And then we're going to turn to the left as we bring the bottom back down to the heels, and we're going to do a little twist, a little moving twist. Left hand comes behind you, right hand comes to the inside of the right leg. Good. And then you're going to breathe in, come back up again. Nice stretch, no back bend here, and then twist to the right. Good. Lowering down, right hands down, left hand down. Beautiful. Coming back up again. Good, and this time straight forward, so just coming back straight and bottom's coming back down to the heels. Good, we're going to come to all fours position again now. Make sure your hands are there under your shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. And we're going to take that right foot out wide outside of the right hand. If you have any SPD or PSD, that's pubic symphysis disorder, just make sure that you keep your foot here and you come up and rock here instead of having the wide leg. If you have some pelvic girdle pain, but it's not related to the SPD, then you're absolutely fine to just come here. So just rocking in and out, enjoying the opening here of the piriformis. Lovely stretch into the glutes, nice around the hips. Good, and then this time as we rock back, the right knee is going to come to the left, nice and carefully, and then we take the left outside of the left hand, again, being careful if you've got any SPD or PSD to keep the feet no more than hip distance apart. But in all other cases, just enjoying the movement into the opening through the left side of the groin. Keep the shoulders away from the ears still. Good, we're going to do one more here, and then that left is coming back towards the right. Good. Now we're going to open the knees wide, the toes are coming together, and we're going to place the bottom down onto the heels, and we're going to sink down into a nice child's pose. So the head is going to land on something. The head might be okay to come all the way down to the mat. If the head doesn't feel comfortable there, then you can bring in your fists and just rest your head on your fists, or you can use a block. Or if that's not comfortable, or you are suffering from any SPD or PSD, that pubic symphysis disorder, then you're going to stay with your knees closer together and just rest here instead. Good, take a breath. Good. Now you can stay here if you want to, or if you want to do a downward facing dog, we're going to do a nice safe downward facing dog. Absolutely fine to do in pregnancy. If you have any problems or concerns, then just check with your midwife. But a nice soft downward facing dog coming up onto all fours. Good. Get you a nice flat back. We're just going to tuck the toes under, take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, then up the bottom comes, not just towards the ceiling, but also just away from us as well. So we've got this nice lengthening through the side of the body. Knees are a little bit bent. Keep the knees bent so you can really lengthen through the sides. Good, and then that's not quite enough. We're going to bring the knees gently down, and we're going to find our child's pose again. So knees wide, bottoms coming towards the heels, softening down. Good. We're going to bring our hands towards our shoulders. We're going to push into them. Good. And then we're coming back up to that all fours position. Good. And then we're going to rock forwards. We're going to tuck the toes under and we're going to walk the hands back. Walking back up the legs. Pushing into those feet, lifting, stretching high, no back bend here, opening through the chest, roll the shoulders back. And then breathing out, hands together. And bringing them back to our heart space. Good. Well done. So that's our adapted sun salutation, a really nice and thorough series for the whole of the pregnant body. If you would like to have more of that class, then you can definitely come to our subscription online, and then you can enjoy a nice Shavasana at the end as well. Unfortunately, we haven't got time for Shavasana on this YouTube, but do make sure that you rest for just a few minutes. Enjoy all of that movement that you've been doing. Get yourself a glass of water and have a lovely rest of your day. Thanks for watching.